The temperature inside the hive is always kept stable at around 30 degrees Celsius. When it is cold, bees gather into a cluster and vibrate their bodies to create heat.
A beehive does not appear like a ready-made house. It is born from a journey, the journey of an entire community searching for a new home. When the old hive becomes too crowded or the environment is no longer safe, the queen leaves with thousands of worker bees. The scene looks like a living river in the sky, countless wings beating, carrying the life of a whole generation. Among them are scout bees. They fly everywhere, searching for dry tree hollows, quiet rock cracks, or abandoned roofs, places that are dark, warm, and safe from enemies. When a scout finds a good place, she returns and performs a special waggle dance to tell the colony the direction, distance, and location. The bees do not decide by command, but by agreement. The place that receives the most dances becomes the chosen home. It is a kind of natural democracy. No voting papers, only movement and scent. When the destination is agreed upon, the queen flies first and the workers follow like a living cloud. As soon as they arrive, construction begins. No days off, no complaints. Worker bees eat a lot of honey to stimulate their bodies to produce wax. From their abdomens, tiny drops of wax appear like frozen dew. They use their jaws, legs, and bodies to shape the wax and attach each small piece to the wall of the new hive. The first bricks of a beehive are not stone or wood, but the biological sweat of the bees themselves. Each piece of wax is a part of their own bodies given to the common home. Little by little.
Part 2. The hexagon shape, the mathematical secret of the beehive. When the first layers of wax are attached, the hive has no clear shape. It looks like a soft wall that is breathing, constantly changing with every touch of the bees. But very soon, the cells begin to appear as perfect hexagons. The strange thing is, no bee studies geometry, no bee knows formulas, yet the whole hive builds the most optimal shape found in nature. The hexagon has special qualities. It fits tightly, leaving no gaps. It uses the least wax while holding the most honey. It is strong and resists pressure well. If bees use circles, there would be empty spaces between cells. If they use squares or triangles, they would need more wax to store the same amount of honey. Only the hexagon is the most economical and intelligent solution. Scientists have shown that bees do not need to calculate to create hexagons. When wax is warm and soft, bees first shape cells that are almost round. Then, under the heat inside the hive and the pressure from neighboring cells, the circles naturally turn into perfect hexagons, like soap bubbles pressed together. Bees only need to do one simple thing: build evenly, build closely, and leave no empty space. Nature itself completes the shape. Each cell is slightly tilted just a few degrees. Thanks to this, honey does not drip out even when the hive hangs vertically. This is not by chance, but the result of millions of years of evolution. When we look at a beehive, we do not only see beauty, but also the intelligence of nature. No engineers, no blueprints, yet a structure more precise than many human machines. When the hexagonal frame is finished, the hive is no longer just a beautiful wall. It becomes a living system, where every small cell has a clear purpose. Inside a beehive, there are three main types of cells, matching the three greatest needs of a community: to be born, to be fed, and to survive. 1. Brood cells, where life begins. These are the cells the queen uses to lay eggs. Each day, the queen can lay thousands of eggs, each one as tiny as dust, carefully placed in the center of a cell. Worker bees immediately care for the eggs, keeping them warm, cleaning them, and feeding the larvae after they hatch. The larvae's food changes by stage. First royal jelly, then a mixture of honey and pollen. Each brood cell is like a cradle hanging in the air. In that warm darkness, a new bee slowly forms, from egg to larva, to pupa, and finally to an adult bee. 2. Honey cells, the energy store of the hive. These cells hold honey, the result of thousands of flights. Each drop of honey is the essence of flowers, collected, processed, and stored. Bees do not just pour honey into cells and leave it. They fan their wings constantly to evaporate water, making the honey thick and stable. When the honey is ripe, they They seal the cell with a thin layer of wax, like closing a precious jar. Thanks to these honey cells, the hive can survive winter when flowers no longer bloom and food is scarce. 3. Pollen cells, the hidden protein store. Pollen is the main protein source for bees, especially important for feeding larvae. Bees mix pollen with honey and saliva to make bee bread. Pollen cells are usually darker in color and located near the brood area for easy feeding. This is the storehouse for the future generation. 3 types of cells, 3 functions, are connected like 3 heartbeats of the hive. Without birth, the hive dies. Without honey, the hive starves. Without pollen, the next generation cannot grow. When we look at a beehive, we see a clear lesson. To survive long-term, we must not only live for today, but also nourish tomorrow.
Part 4. The rhythm of the hive. Who does what and where? If the hive is a city, then each bee is a citizen with a clear job. There is no schedule on the wall, yet everyone knows what to do, guided by instinct and age. When worker bees are newly born, they do not fly outside. In their early days, they work inside the hive. They clean empty cells for the queen to lay eggs. They produce royal jelly to feed larvae. They keep the brood area warm by vibrating their bodies. At this stage, their place is near the center of the hive, where eggs and larvae are. When they grow a bit older, workers move to construction work, producing wax and building new cells, repairing damaged ones, sealing ripe honey cells. These bees usually stay near the edges of the hive, where expansion and strengthening are needed. Later, they become foragers, flying far to find flowers, bringing back nectar, pollen, and water, telling others where to go through dance. These bees spend most of their time outside the hive. Some workers become guards, standing at the entrance, checking the scent of returning bees, attacking strangers if necessary. Their position is always at the doorway, the gate of the bee city. The queen stays in the center of the hive, surrounded by caring workers. Drone bees usually stay near the brood area, waiting for mating season. No bee chooses its own job. Work changes with age and with the needs of the hive. When builders are lacking, many bees switch to building. When foragers are needed, more bees go out. The hive does not run on commands, but on listening to shared needs. Each bee does not ask, "What do I want to do?" but "What does the hive need?" That is why the hive lives like a single body, tens of thousands of bees, but only one breath.
Part 5. The hive, a living body. A hive is not just a shelter. It is a living organism made from tens of thousands of smaller lives. The temperature inside the hive is always kept stable at around 30 degrees Celsius. When it is cold, bees gather into a cluster and vibrate their bodies to create heat. When it is hot, bees stand at the entrance and fan their wings to cool the hive. No air conditioner is needed, yet the hive always has its own climate. The air inside the hive is also controlled. Bees use their wings to create airflow, pushing old air out and pulling fresh air in. Thanks to this, eggs and larvae always breathe in a clean environment. When a bee dies inside the hive, worker bees carry the body outside immediately. They do not allow death to stay among life, because even one rotting body can make the whole hive sick. If an enemy enters, the hive reacts like a nervous system. Guard bees release a warning scent. Instantly, nearby bees switch into fighting mode. The whole hive tightens and becomes alert, ready to protect its center. When flowers are abundant, bees work hard and store honey. When flowers are scarce, bees save energy, eat more slowly, and reduce reproduction. The hive always lives by the rhythm of nature, never against it. Each bee lives only a few weeks or months, but a hive can live for many years. The hive does not die when one bee dies. It dies only when cooperation disappears. The hive teaches us a deep lesson. Life does not exist in each individual alone, but in the connections between them. One bee is only a tiny dot. Tens of thousands together become a beating heart in a forest of flowers.